Thanks to the support as a channel member, Kevin McKenna. There's no room for errors now. Champions League quarter-final, FA Cup semi-final, top of the league but level on points. We drop points anywhere, fail to win anything, and it all goes wrong. Hello and welcome to part 151 of Wembley to Wembley. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our Champions League quarter-final second leg against Milan. It's 1-1 from the first leg. Since you were last with me, this is what's gone on. We haven't played a huge number of matches, but we are still unbeaten, but we are also starting to have a little bit of a wobble. Not 1 in 2, which is for the first time all season that we've not won 2 consecutive matches. To be fair, there's good reason. We drew 1-1 away against Milan in that first leg in the Champions League quarter-final, and an away draw in the Champions League knockout rounds is always a good result. It doesn't matter who you're playing. And then the other one was 1-1 away against reigning Premier League champions Chelsea, who are managed by Vincent Kompany, who's won the last 4 Premier Leagues. So you know what? Seems like a good result to me. And also, while we were there drawing, Manchester City were losing to Portsmouth. So we're actually top of the league for the first time since December with 5 games to go. And we play Manchester City on the final day of the season. So although we've had a little bit of a mini wobble, we are top of the league and looking very, very good. We'll look even better once we've navigated our way past Milan in this second leg. So this is the home leg, 1-1 from the first leg, and this is the team. It's Kudo in goal, a back four of Gleedle, Mane, Starrico and Burrows, Tung and Sabatino in midfield, Bahari, Salinas and Williams behind Gundo up front. Brian is still injured from that injury that he picked up in the first leg, so that's why Williams is starting. But let's get our team submitted and hopefully book ourselves a spot in the Champions League semi-final, which I would very much like to be the second match in today's episode. I guess we'll see how the first match goes first. It could all go a little bit wrong, but I mean, you know what? It's final season. Nothing's going to go wrong. It's all going to go to plan. We're going to win here, and then the second half of the episode will be leg 2 of the semi-final. That'll work nicely, won't it? Manchester City have just gone behind against Real Madrid. I don't know what the score is from their first leg, but obviously they, having not won the Premier League for 4 years, are in the midst of a little bit of a recovery at the moment. We want them to be beaten back down again, so they're broken men by the time we play them on the final day of the season. Williams at the far post, in with their header, and the Milan keeper did not deal with it at all, and that's the first big chance of the game. There's actually a little look to see if it's crossed the line. I don't know why we ever get this goal line technology thing in Football Manager, because for as long as it's been in the game, I've never had a goal given off the back of that goal line technology animation coming up, but it's it keeps things exciting, doesn't it? Remains 0-0 as we pass the halfway point of the first half. We've certainly had the better of this first half. Milan getting more of the ball, but we're having the better of the chances. But now, worryingly, Sabatino, who very much is the man who keeps things ticking over in the centre of the team for us. Everything passes through Sabatino, and he's not going to be joining us for the second half. He's picked up a knock. So we're going to bring on Ulbricht. Tung can go over and play in the playmaker role, and we come out for the second half needing a goal. I mean, we're not losing, but we want to win. We don't want to be messing around with extra time and stuff like that. We've got a lot of football to play. We would like to pick up a winner at some point in this second half and book our spot in that Champions League semi-final. Remember, it was around this time last year against Atletico that we just stopped being able to score goals. We've only scored 3 goals in our last 3 matches. Gundo's definitely slowed down with the goal-scoring exploits. I really hope history's not repeating itself, because this is the final season. No matter what happens, even if we don't get the result we want, it all ends here. It's in Tom Best's hands after this, if we can actually put it in his hands. People keep saying Tom Best's got to take over. I agree, but the editor's disabled on the save. So if he doesn't want it, or if the club don't give it to him, we can't force Tom Best to be manager. And he might just follow me out of the club because he loves me. Right, Salinas with the in-swinging corner. Find Mane, do a goal. He actually found Gundo, I think, and we didn't do a goal. And it ends up back in the hands of the Milan keeper. And we chase back and try and get hold of the ball again. Milan have only had 2 shots on target in this match. It's going to be very, very upsetting if we don't get the breakthrough. But the longer the game goes on, the more it does start to feel like what happened last year. And we just we don't have that big game experience that's so important at this stage of the season to drag us over the finish line. And I really hope it's not going to end up costing us. We're making a lot of changes here. Because we have to, because everybody's shattered. We're going to have to leave Bahari on because we don't have enough substitutions to make this completely different front four. Pedone, Renault, Ansong and Bahari with Albrecht and Christodoulou in midfield. We're trying something completely different to try and get the breakthrough. We're going to offer some encouragement and we need somebody to step up and make themselves a hero because I am starting to become a little concerned. Christodoulou, I thought he'd injured himself there, but I think he's okay. Pedone does well to win the ball back, finds Renault. Renault scored some important goals for us over the years. Can he add another one here? He's hit the post, I think. I don't know why he doesn't square it looking for Pedone, but it's now Milan with the chance for the counter-attack. Mane always had that covered. We always have full faith in Mane in those situations, but it's back with Milan again. A highlight starting with a free kick from their keeper, and Bahari does well to intercept, especially because he's shattered. And now Burrows plays it forward to Ansong, who finds Bahari playing on the right wing, which he doesn't do very often. Ansong plays it out to Gleedle, who's got room to pick across. Pedone is there! And our new Italian signing has scored against an Italian team. Pedone, this is why we brought him in January. It was a lot of money to spend on a player you could argue we didn't really need, but I said at the start of the match that Gundo's started to slow down a little bit after an incredible season. And we've got a man who's hit 20 goals a year in Serie A for the last 5 years, proving that he knows how to score against the Italian teams. It's 1-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate, but Milan have a corner and the chance for an immediate reply. The ball comes to their guy on the edge of the area. Pedone is trying to close them down, and Kudo justifying the amount of money we threw at Southampton back in the summer to bring him in, making a good save, but it's another corner for Milan. They are starting to apply some pressure. Now we've woken them up. The ball is cleared, but only as far as a Milan player again. We are chasing out, trying to get men forward just to ease some of this pressure a little bit, but Milan certainly seem to have woken up. Now they've gone behind in the game. They're on the attack again, this time with a throw. Cross comes in. Starrico deals with it, but again, the clearance only goes as far as a Milan player. They're dancing around in the area, and there is the equaliser. It took them all of 3 minutes. I mean, it's like they just turned up a gear, and as soon as they decided to try, getting a goal was easy for them. And that's heartbreaking, because we threw everything at that and finally got the breakthrough, and then to be pegged back immediately, it's not great for the confidence, is it? We're going to offer encouragement again. We've still been the better team across the two legs, but Milan just seem to have that more of that winning mentality that I just don't think we have, because we're still effectively, I mean, we haven't won it. We are effectively still doing this for the first time, because every time we've got this far, we've ended up bottling it. Right, we only have a centre-back, a left-back and 2 keepers on the bench. I mean, Brian is there, but probably shouldn't be coming on. I mean, I think we risk Brian here. He's not fully fit, but I think we risk him. He's such an important player and we need a goal. Bahari's shattered. A slightly injured Brian, surely better than a completely shattered guy out there. We're offering encouragement again, and I mean, Brian's already done. He's done 15 minutes and he is done. So probably shouldn't have brought him on. But Ansong gives it to Renault. Renault has got options ahead of him. Pedone's one. Brian's one. I mean, if Brian can grab the goal here, it justifies the substitution, but he misses. Oh, that might have been the moment. It's still 1-1. 15 more minutes before we head for penalties, and I hate going into penalties as the team that should have won, because you go in there not feeling very confident. Brian turns nicely, plays it over the top. Albrecht is bursting out of midfield. I don't know what business he's got there, but he's caused absolute chaos. Renault picks up the scraps. He's tackled. Gleedle's there to float the crossover. Pedone's there again, and he scores again. It's been disallowed, I think. Who's offside? There's no way Pedone's offside there. Come on, referee. You know what to do. Give that goal. We deserve it. We've been so good. It has been given. Fantastic stuff. I didn't think anyone was offside. Renault, I mean, there's an argument Renault's fouled in the build-up there, but it's a lovely cross floated over from Gleedle and Pedone. That's what you get when you sign a 6'4" striker. You're gonna do goals like that, and Pedone has come on and turned the game on its head, and he's now taking a corner, which is absurd. Mane gets on the end of it. I mean, that would have been the cherry on top, and a very welcome cherry too, if Mane could have found the goal there. But Renault's now taken a knock. It's the 121st minute. We should have only played 121, and we've got a free kick. This is surely us booked into the semi-final of the Champions League. Take your time with this free kick, young man. I didn't get his Pedone over it. Just rolls it into Brian. There's Renault. It was well worked. It ends up going wide, but that's got to be that, surely. That is that. We have made a meal of it, but that's a game we would have lost last season and the season before. And this time we make it through. We're in the semi-final of the Champions League. Real Madrid is going to be a tough ask, but I mean, we've got to try and find a way through. Mane is shattered. He needs a rest. We're going to send Mane on a little holiday, and hopefully he'll be back before the Real Madrid game. And I think that's exactly where we're going to head now. We're going to show you the second leg of Real Madrid. So a few games to play off camera, and then we'll be back for Real Madrid, where hopefully we'll still be in the tie, having been to the Bernabeu. Oh, it really is all very tense at this stage of the season. We needed penalties to get past Derby in the FA Cup semi-final. We did comfortably beat Cardiff, but then only drew away against Leeds. That's a Leeds team who are down in the relegation battle, and narrowly beat Real Madrid with a 93rd minute winner at the Bernabeu. So the Premier League looks like this. 3 games to go. We're 2 points behind Man City again, but with a better goal difference, and still play them on the last day. And that brings us to today, where we have the home leg against Real Madrid. And this is the team we're putting out there to try and book a spot in the Champions League final for the first time in our history. Kudo in goal, a back four of Gleedle, Mane, Starrico and Burrows, Tung and Sabatino in midfield, Bahari, Salinas and Bryan behind Gundo up front. We are full strength. We have no excuses, and we're in the lead. But we are being a little bit bottly in all of our results lately. I mean, take it with a pinch of salt. Obviously, we're playing a lot of big matches at the moment, and we're not getting destroyed in them. We're not even losing them. We're just not dominating the way we were earlier on in the season when we were in the league stage of the Champions League, winning lots of games in the league. And we nearly opened the scoring tonight in the most unlikely of circumstances, but it gets pushed behind for a corner. But a corner is almost as good as a penalty kick with Mane in the team, and Mane tries to get on the end of it, but can't get proper contact. But it comes to Sabatino. I think the referee's going to be having a look at it because Sabatino looked offside. I'm not going to celebrate too quickly, but that looked, I mean, it's gone in the goal. Will it be given though, is the question. And it is given. We'll have a look at it from the other angle. So the corner comes in. It ends up with Salinas. It's a shot from Bahari, and Sabatino looks like he's ahead of everybody, but I guess he's just timed his run perfectly. We're not even going to get the suspicious offside one with the little lines, and that's huge because that's 1-0 on the night, 2-0 on aggregate. If we grab a third here, which we have 10 minutes in, Brian pokes it into the top corner. It's a lovely finish from him. It's going to VAR again, but if this is given, we're as good as in the final, and it is given. 2 potentially controversial goals to put us 2-0 up on the night. 10 minutes in, 3-0 up on aggregate. It's a completely different story to not just the first leg, but also to, I mean, that is a perfectly timed run from Brian, and it's a lovely finish as well. What a goal. 2 shots, 2 goals for us so far in this match, and it is a huge contrast from all the matches we've played on this little run-in. I talked about how we were starting to struggle for goals, starting to really grind our way to results, and not everything was going our way. But right now, everything seems to be going our way, and Salinas has hit the crossbar, and we could have been 3-0 up on the night, and we still might be because it's a corner, and it's going to be an in-swinging corner taken by Salinas. We all know who he's going to be aiming for. Mane is unmarked, gets the header, and the keeper manages to push it around the post for another corner. And it's another attempt to find Mane's head on the edge of that 6-yard box. Comes in. Mane is there again, and this time does get a proper contact, but can't direct it goalwards. It remains 2-0 on the night, 3-0 on aggregate. And we'll take a full-time whistle now. Thank you very much. This has been a jolly good performance. Just having Brian back in the team is a big boost, and that goal from him was fantastic. But the entire attacking midfield three all playing very, very well, despite the fact that what's his face, Gundo, does seem to be having his quietest patch of the season at centre forward. Obviously, we've seen Pedone come on in recent matches and score some very, very important goals, not least of which was the 93rd minute goal against Real Madrid in the first leg of this match. So he's there to come on if needed. It's very nice to have a good goal-scoring backup option for when Gundo doesn't have a good game. But now Salinas is going off injured, so Ansong can come on for him. Brian is also tiring, so Williams is now recovered and can come on for him. And you know what? I'm going to make a triple change, and we are going to bring Pedone on for Gundo with 25 minutes to go, just to give him the chance to get out there and add to his recent tally. He's been quite important for us lately, and we'd like to get him in proper goal-scoring form for these last 4 or 5 matches that we're going to play in the entire series. If Gundo's not in form anymore, we need to get Pedone in form and get him in the team. And there is Pedone, and that's a terrible header. I mean, it's gone. I'm glad we're not in a situation where we need a goal, because that's gone looping way over the crossbar. It's really quite poor from him. But it looks like it's not going to matter, because with 15 minutes to go, we're still 3-0 up on aggregate and in possession of the football. And it's Mane gives it to Gleedle, and now Bahari on the left-hand side. Ansong's drifted out there to join him, plays it infield to Sabatino, and now Sabatino gives it back to Gleedle, who floats it over for Pedone, who this time manages to keep it a little bit lower, but I think it's gone wide this time. I tell you what, between Pedone and Mane, we've had some opportunities where you would back us to score normally, and it's just not quite going our way. Renault's going to come on the left-hand side. We're also going to bring on Ulbricht for Sabatino, and just move Tongue over to play as the playmaker, and hopefully just see this one out. Ansong with the throw. It makes it as far as Starico, but Real Madrid do manage to hack it clear. We've only left one man back here. Luckily, they've only got one man forward, but they are having a bit of a counter-attack, and the cross comes in, and luckily the shot goes well over. But that was dangerous stuff for a team that are completely in control of the tie. 1 foot in the Champions League final for us to just leave one man back for a throw-in. I mean, it really does summarise just how we like to play football. It's our attitude towards how you play football. Forget closing a game down. Forget going defensively. Attack is the best form of defence. And if we'd have grabbed a third goal, that's just as useful as them scoring their first, really, isn't it? As far as I'm concerned, I refuse to be convinced otherwise. I'm too set in my ways at this point. But there is a shot from the edge of the area, and Kudo, having not had to do very much at all over the course of the tie so far, had to be alert to that. And I'm not sure he was completely alert, because it looked straight at him. But in the end, he's pushed it behind for a corner when he probably could have caught it. But we've dealt with the corner with Ulbricht heading it clear, but it's now coming straight back at us again. And this time it goes clear to Renault, who is going to try and run away with the ball, and tries to go past his man. The right back's actually dealt with him quite well there, but it's not going to matter, because Real Madrid do not have the time to score 3 goals. There you go, Football Manager. I'm challenging you. You haven't got time to do it, have you? Of course you didn't have time to do it. And it ends 2-0 on the night, 3-0 on aggregate, after the stress of the quarterfinal, the semi-final against Real Madrid. Relatively stress-free. And we are into the final of the Champions League. I don't know who we're playing yet. Do we know who we're playing yet? It's either Tottenham or Chelsea. Wow. Okay, so the Champions League final is going to be a London derby. Tottenham were the last team to beat us way back in November. And Chelsea, of course, Vincent Kompany, been a bit of a nemesis for me in this save. I'm not really looking forward to it, but that is going to be the last episode of the series. I think we'll do a double header. We don't need to show the FA Cup final, I think, in the video. So the final episode of Wembley to Wembley is going to be Manchester City in the league and either Tottenham or Chelsea in the Champions League. And at the end of that, we'll hopefully have won it all. Please tell me we'll have won it all. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.